Hello. Yes, some of you knows me. For the other, I am Clément Oudot. I work in Worteks, an open source. As you can see, yes, I'm doing the LDAP, so LDAP directories, authentication, single sign-on. And Worteks is an open source company. And also, if you want to talk with me, I can let you know what I'm doing outside my work. Especially, I'm singing, so if you want to talk about music, we can talk about it. So Worteks, we have a stand, so I won't spend too much time on this. You can reach us to know what we are doing on services and consulting. And what is important for this conference is that we are also doing some softwares, open source softwares. The first is W3, which is a collaborative platform. The last is WOPLA, which is all infrastructure for virtualization and containers. And WIDAS, which is an identity platform. And we will talk about the FusionIAM project, which is running WIDAS in Worteks. So this is a project which was born in OW2 because we gathered with Benoît Mortier, the founder of Fusion Directory Software, and we created some years ago a full identity and access management suite to ease the deployment of an identity platform. So the project is now led by Worteks and by me and David Coutader, which is also here today. So if you want to talk with us, we are here. And the project is hosted by OW2. The goal was to capitalize on existing softwares. So we are using all these already free softwares, which are LSC, LDAP Tool Box, Fusion Directory, OpenLDAP, and LemonLDAP NG. All these components are put together to have a full identity and access management stack. You may see some keywords on proprietary softwares when you are doing security and access management. So we put all the software's logo on these keywords. So you see that we cover all the parts of a full identity and access management solution only with free softwares. The architecture is quite simple. We have at the center OpenLDAP, which is a directory in which we have all the accounts and all the groups. So we store all the data here, and we also have a small SQL database only for the sessions and configurations of the single sign-on product, which is the LemonLDAP NG. So all products are web products, except OpenLDAP, which is the LDAP server, and LSC, which is a connector to be able, you are able with the LSC to synchronize your current LDAP directory. For example, if you have Active Directory, it's no problem. You can keep Active Directory, and you can synchronize your identities and your groups into a more open platform to be able to plug all your application, not on Active Directory or Active Directory Federation services, but you can plug all your application on this open source platform. So the start of FusionIAM was first to gather all open source components to have a full IAM working platform. And now, as we read all the articles on the internet, we see that we need to do cloud. Okay, it's a good idea, and with Worteks we are doing cloud for a lot of software. So we start thinking, how do I put my identities in the cloud? So the technical the technical way was to not think in terms of packaging for the operating system, but to think about doing containers. So I am a quite old guy in the IT, so what I learned was to install myself all the components on the server and to configure them. Now with the cloud approach, we will not deliver packages, but we will deliver containers, and we will configure containers through environment. So this is the main differences between the old way of doing the identity and the new way of deploying identity with containers. So it's just a little technical slide to say, okay, we are technical guys, but don't be afraid. It's just to show that we choose to really cut all the features in different containers and pods. The goal, as you may know because you are also technical experts, is that with the cloud you can run any pods and you can do scalability by increasing the number of pods only for the feature or the services that needs to have more performances or more resources. So the fact that all features and all software are cut into different pods is that you are able to have a really accurate performance overview over your full identity and access management services. And of course, we have some volumes that are used here to share data between pods and to persist, of course, some data. All the configuration are persisted. Of course, all the user and all the groups are persisted. So it is not magic. All people here can run this platform. You just have to go on the GitLab of OW2. And all the images, all the containers are freely available, and you can just run it on your computer and have a full identity platform running on your computer. Of course, it is even better to publish it and to run it on your Kubernetes server, but you can test it directly. So what we have done in Worteks is that of course, first we build the solution. We took all the components, all the open source software components, and we see for each of them how to run it into a containers, and then how to configure all the containers to bind them together. Because if you do it by yourself, if you take all the softwares, you need first to install all the software on yourself and then to configure each software to talk to each other. For example, you need to configure LemonLDAP to connect to the LDAP directory server to be able to authenticate a user, etc., etc. So with FusionIAM, all is pre-configured, and when you run the containers, they already know where to find the users. And we decided to offer this solution as a SaaS, so software as a service, and we created Worteks Identity as a Service, WIDAS, with the particularity that is, of course, open source, fully open source, and it's fully hosted in France on servers that were bought by Worteks. So there is no Google, Amazon, any proprietary software to run this identity platform. And as far as I know, it is the only fully open source identity platform that you can have hosted in France. So we can propose this service as software as a service, But as you saw in the previous slide, you can run it if you want, because all is open source, and you can run this software as a service for you or for some customers, because all is fully open source. You can have more information about this on our website. We have a demonstration live on our stand, so if you want to see how it behaves and want to talk with us and say, okay, maybe it's a little ugly and I would like to change the colors, no problem. We can change the colors and we can discuss about what are the features and what you can do with it. Thank you.